I want to share with you something that the three pastors have been kind of praying and musing upon and talking about. And I'll tell you what, this is the first time we're actually sharing it publicly. And it's a seed of an idea, but we want this to gain traction and that you would be invited to hope and dream with us. And we start to ask ourselves, what if we were to create these things called third places? Many of you are familiar with that term. They're places that aren't home and they're not work, but it's a place that you can go and essentially feel at home, whether it's the local Starbucks or their local library. It's where you rub shoulders with strangers, you make new connections with people, you create memories, where conversations happen and a sense of community builds together. And this is going to kind of date me, but it's a place where you can go and everybody knows your name. But equally charming is the fact that you can go there and you don't know who you're going to bump into. As one person put it, third places make life more humane through the social interactions they provide, the interactions we intuitively crave as human beings. So, we started wondering, and we're going to throw this conversation out to our congregation. But what if we as a church would begin to pray and dream in 2013 about creating these third places? Let's say, for example, like a coffee house in downtown Ann Arbor, where the gospel wouldn't be preached from a pulpit, but it would be demonstrated and reflected through conversations and friendship and community. What if through these third places, we could allow God to change people's negative perceptions about Christians by intentionally being present with them and not shoving religion down their throats, but rather entering into the story of their lives and helping them connect their story with God's greater story of redemption? Even as we continue to dream and process this, we thought, what if we not only offered excellent service and products, but what if all the profits that were made there didn't come back to the church, but all of it was given to different causes that upheld the widows and the orphans, that restored dignity back to the poor and brought freedom to those who are oppressed? And what if people from this church in our city would come together and volunteer their time to be trained and serve a couple hours a week because they believed that by giving their time away, they were actually helping the cause of doing justice and loving mercy? What if every time you bought a cup of coffee or tea, you could decide which cause you want to support through the profits made through that purchase? And what would it look like for the close to 450 people who gather here on any given Sunday if we were to say, you know what, go, frequent this place. And not only that, but invite your friends. Go and study and work and converse there, but simply be the church in the world in that place. Now that sounds like a pipe dream, like, okay, get a grip of reality, son. We still have a long way to go, and I will say this has gone beyond just dreaming. The pastors have started some movements and some decisions and actions. We're talking to people, to the board, but we need your help. We need your gifts and talents. There are talents in this congregation that we don't even know about that can help us through this process. Now, I think it was crazy when 3.5 years ago, we had a small group of 45 people to think that 3 years later, we would have a group of 450 people. It's crazy to think that our community groups in a place that's so transient can form permanent friendships with people. It's crazy to think that the gospel could actually make a difference in a town that is so irreligious and apathetic and hostile towards Christianity. So here's the sum of what we want to propose to you. In short, we want to invite you to take the next step in your relationship with God, and we want to invite you to dream big and pray big with us as we move into 2013.